basics of hooking.
The basics of hooking is getting your hand as bent as possible. The reason for this is that if you can shorten your arm by 3 or 4 inches, obviously the power you're generating from your body is going to be applied to their hand and arm better than if you have a longer lever. Basic physics should make sense. A hook, basically there's 2 types. There's multiple variations, 2 types. You have a high hook, which is closer to a top roll and a hook, and then you have like a deep inside supinating hook. High hook we'll start with. You still have a lot of back pressure as though you're starting a top roll essentially. You want to be a little bit deeper probably than your top roll. Top roll you're trying to escape out their hand. You're trying to run away and use leverage over their fingers to crack their fingers and their wrists. High hook you're coming a little bit deeper, securing a good hand, keeping loads of back pressure here. On the go, you've got back pressure, a bit of cup, and you're modulating, depending on where they're stronger, your pressure here through your back pressure. If you can feel their hand trying to cup in, you've got a lot of pressure there stopping them from sinking their cup, and you've also got a lot of pressure on your cupping, your wrist flexion, and that's to stop them from pronating that way. As they're trying to go that way, you're covering both angles. It's an extremely good move, especially if you're able to maintain the strength in both. It's essentially pretty close to the perfect move because you're covering all their angles if you're strong enough. You've got back pressure so they can't get their cup in, you're making them fight where you want to fight. They can't get pronation because you have enough cup, and the move basically looks like that. It's one of those moves that when you see it happen, you're like, that's just a really easy match, he destroyed him. And it's just the ability to stop that guy from getting where he feels strong. He can't cup, he can't pronate, and generally from there you will win. There'll be the exception, some guys will hang on with nothing, but it's going to wear their elbows out and their biceps a lot more than it is you. Now, the fun one, a deep supinating hook. This one is, again, basically trying to bend this as much as possible and using, I feel you use your bottom fingers and your fingers to help enter the hook, but I feel it's easier to enter the hook if you think about using your wrist instead of your fingers. If you're trying to squeeze and curl someone in to a hook, it's going to be a long day, a long tournament. It is very hard to do that. What you need to do is set up as far past them. You want their hand, you want to be grabbing their hand like this. You want this thumb ridge here, this part of your hand as far past. You want your thumbs interlocking like this. You want to get that past. You also want to have a high wrist angle, and generally, depending on your opponent, it can vary, a low arm angle. So instead of a posting top roll like this, it's pushing that wrist past, generally a little bit lower arm angle to bring the height down, make your opponent come down, especially if they're a top roller, and a high wrist angle. You're trying to get past, I'd always recommend going to a strap as well. Post up, get your slip, kick back in your posting top roll. If you've got anything at all, get your straps, get strapped in, get as far past that hand, complain to the ref to pull those thumbs together. Setting up, the first movement I think that you do to set a hook well is mostly supination and a bit of cup. The cup will come later. If you supinate, your goal is to get across their pronation as fast as possible. Supinate, and then what happens is you start to cup anyway. You get a bit of cup. Once you get over their pronation, you can work on sinking that cup in. So it comes across like this, and you always, the difference about hook and top roll as well, top top roll, you're generally moving to the back of the pad, generally. Until you're re-gripping or posting up higher, your elbow comes forward. Hooking, you nearly always should come to the front of the pad until you've got your cup secure, you feel in a strong position like you're in the match, and then you can begin to drag back. If you drag back too early, you risk losing your cup, and then no more hook. So up high, pushing forward, shoulder ready to commit, dive in, nice and slow, supinating, bending that cup in, cover their pronation off. Generally, if they're here and they were committed to a top roll, you'll have them. You'll know. They'll just lose everything. If it's a great match and you haven't got your cup fully set, just keep driving the front of that pad. Just work on their rotation. Keep supinating, coming down, coming down, coming down, until you can just crack that in, and then you can drag back, you can press, you can hook drag, like you can press drag, so you got downward pressure. Many options. I think hooking is just such an awesome, fun way to arm wrestle. There's nothing like having an epic hook match. The closest thing maybe would be, aside from that in top rolling, would be a really good low hand top roll against a hooker, and it's an absolute war and you're right into the pad. Huge amount of power based movement. Don't get me wrong, it is extremely technical as well, and we'll get onto that in another video. Possibly the best fun you can have arm wrestling. I think, get in a good war, someone you're similar strength to, and then just battle it out. Not great for tournaments, it's bad for tournaments unless you're amazingly good at hooking, and most people are top rolling, and you can just bury them. Someone like Ivan Matyashenko, Russian legend, that dude will walk through hook match every single person in world-class level tournaments, particularly left arm, and go undefeated. Dude's a monster. So that is the basics of, so there you have it guys. The high hook, inside supinating hook. Hope that's helped out, teaching some of the little bit more technical things of different moves, why to do them, how to do them. I can go into a lot more depth in other videos, but for now, if you like the video, I'd love if you go ahead and click like. Helps the video be searched easier on YouTube. Share it with your friends, your teammates, etc. and subscribe to the channel if you like what I'm doing. Thanks a lot.